This might make you feel uncomfortable. Not emotionally, but biologically. Let me ask you something. How many of you here walked in today feeling life's quite settled? Awesome. Work is stable, family is great, weekends are predictable, right? Awesome. That's a beautiful place to be, isn't it? You have achieved what most people are still chasing. And if you have reached there, you've done quite well. Hold that feeling. What you just called settled, or what sounded like success, researchers at Harvard call this the beginning of biological, or rather I should say accelerated biological aging. Congratulations, you have just qualified. I call it the early retirement kit for people, those who are still employed but are already mentally on leave. Inside, cushioned slippers for comfort. You don't take risks in these. You take naps. You hit snooze not once, 3 times. Even your comfort zone now has a comfort zone. Then there's this remote for repetition. Same shows, same opinions, same complaints, just a new date, a new year, but same mindset. You think you are binge watching OTT, but OTT is quietly binge watching your mental retirement. And that's when you actually start aging. Not with wrinkles, not with birthdays, but when you mentally stop your learning. You don't age when your hair turns gray. You age when nothing challenges you anymore. And I know this because I have seen it happen in real time. I met a 28-year-old who was old. Let me take you back. At 20, she was the youngest team head at a bank in Dubai and self-funding her MBA. She was ambitious and driven. At 21, she chose marriage over her job promotion. People called it settling down. It's a beautiful phrase, but you know what else settles down? Dust, sediment, things that stop moving. For the next 7 years, her life looked perfect. Stable marriage, 2 beautiful children, foreign trips, a lively social circle. Nothing missing, nothing broken, just comfortable. Too comfortable. No new skill, no new subject, no intellectual stretch. Life moved, her mind didn't. Then at 28, her hair began to fall. Falling, not thinning. Falling in clumps. One evening at a dinner with friends, a thick bunch of hair dropped onto her dinner plate. It wasn't embarrassing, it was alarming. A kidney tumor was suspected. Doctor ordered 2 scans immediately. Those 10 minutes in the waiting room before the reports could arrive, she imagined chemotherapy. She imagined her 1-year-old growing up without her. She imagined death. The tumor was ruled out. But something else had already started to change. Gray strands appeared. Fine lines deepened. Her posture slumped. She didn't look sick. She looked aged. And the frightening part is this. It did not begin with a hair loss that was just the symptom. The shift had started years earlier when her learning stopped. Here's what was actually happening. And this isn't opinion, it's peer-reviewed science. UCLA scientist Steve Horvath developed what's called the epigenetic clock, a way to measure your real biological age and not your age on your passport. Across over 4,500 people, he found something striking. How actively you engage your brain is directly linked with how fast or slow your cells age, alongside your diet, your workouts, even your genetics. But when your brain disengages, your body shifts into chronic stress mode. And stress hormones like cortisol rise. So inflammation increases, body repair slows down, and your biological aging speeds up. And that eventually shows up physically in your hair, in your skin, your posture, your recovery. The gray hair, the wrinkles, the exhaustion that doesn't go away, sometimes it's not bad luck, it's your mental stagnation written into biology. That 28-year-old wasn't unlucky. She was aging not because of any other reason, but because she had already slipped into her mental retirement. No new learning, stagnating. And that 28-year-old was me. My birth certificate read 28. My biology disagreed. After the tumor scare, my therapist said something simple: stay occupied. So I went back to fashion designing, something that I had studied earlier but abandoned after marriage. I was sketching designs, experimenting with new ones. I was creating new learning. It felt therapeutic, for sure. But more importantly, it was learning. For the first time in 7 years, my brain was struggling with something new. And something shifted. Not magically, again, biologically. My stress reduced. My posture changed. My medications reduced. And over the next 6 years, I built my own fashion label. Creating, experimenting, learning every single day, upgrading myself. Then COVID hit. When the whole world moved digital, I lost my digital identity. My Instagram account got hacked. My website was deleted. 6 years of hard work vanished in 6 seconds. But this time, I recognized the pattern. I knew if I spiral, I stagnate. If I stagnate, I age. I didn't want to age prematurely again. So, I became a student again. I started to learn with technology. First, using laptops. Then learning social media, digital media, video editing. I walked into Toastmasters to face my biggest fear, public speaking. The first time I stood on stage, I just had to read a small 15-second script about not using filler words like And guess what I said? Thank you. That's it. I froze. My hand shook. My voice cracked. I couldn't speak. My smartwatch beeped high heart rate. My watch thought I was sprinting while I was still standing. But that wasn't weakness. That was stimulation after years of stagnation. And stimulation is what keeps you biologically young. Well, 10,000 repetitions and practice later, I could read it clearly. But this is where it stops being my story and starts being yours. Stanford neurologist Tony Gray published a finding that truly moved me. His words were, "The brain is the gatekeeper of longevity." He wasn't being poetic. He analyzed about 44,000 brains and went through their brain scans, which proves that two of you in this room could both be 30, same birth date, same age on paper, but one brain could be biologically younger, more resilient. The other brain could be biologically older, more exhausted. And the older brain is nearly twice as likely to die prematurely. Same age, same date. Different biology, different fate. So if you are spending more money on those supplements or anti-aging serums, rather than spending on upgrading your mind, you're fighting the wrong battle. You're not fighting aging, you're just decorating it. And the finding that changed everything for me came from Yale psychologist Becca Levy. She followed 660 people over 23 years and published her findings in her book, Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, which says, people, those who believe they are still capable of growth and who see possibility instead of inevitable decline, are likely to live 7.5 years longer. 7.5 years. Not from supplements, not from beauty products, not from cosmetic procedures, from a belief. Becca Levy later became the advisor to the World Health Organization because it wasn't just psychology, it was public health. 7.5 years, just learning, only learning. Learning slows aging, and stopping learning accelerates it. I had to start from scratch twice, not because I was brave, but because my biology demanded it, because I did not want premature aging for myself. The most dangerous sentence in this world is, I already know enough. And the moment you believe that, your brain quietly files for retirement. Retirement does not come at 60. It can begin at 28 or 38 or even tonight. And if you want to slow your aging, do not look for a product. Look for a challenge. Become a beginner at something that frightens you. That's stimulation. That's your biological survival. That's your slow aging. The early retirement kit is still here. And some of you are still wearing those slippers. Remember, you don't age when you grow older. You age when you stop growing. The title of my talk is, I met a 28-year-old who was old. But when you look into the mirror tonight, will you meet one too? Think.